Namaste to all. Ram Ram Ram. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahabiryankaravavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste to all. Ram Ram Ram. Today is the 35th class of Sundara Kandam. We've completed learning 8 sargas and 9th sarga is in progress. We have done shlokas 1 to 40 in 9th sarga, and then we will continue from 41 to 60 today. Usha Raghavanji, can you do the Dhyana shloka?
Ram Ramji.
Namaste.
Sundara Kandam Dhyanam. Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanam Dhyaye Sarva Vignopashantaye Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaaya Nathaya Sitayaः Pataye Namaha. Buddhirbalam yashodhairyam nirbhayatvam arogata ajadyam vakpatutvam cha hanumat smaranat bhavet manojavam marutatulya vegam jitendriyam buddhimatam varishtham वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् पूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखा वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्.
Very good. Very good. Ram Ram. We'll quickly revise the shlokas we learned earlier, 21 to 40. Kalpagam ji Ram Ram.
Ram Ram.
Ram Ram.
Tadrasta satata gandham panapakshana sambhavam divyam sammurchitam jigrat rupavantamivaanilam sagandhastam mahasattvam bandhurbanधुमिवोत्तमम् ita prahityuvacheva tatra yatra saravaнаha tatastam prasthithashalam
One more time.
tatastam prasthithashalam
Prasthithashalam.
tatastam prasthithashalam
Dirgham Bagri. Dirgha. Pra.
Tatastam prasthithashalam dadharshamagadhim shupam ravanasya manakkantam kantamiva parastriyam manisopana vikrutam hemajala virajitam spatikairavruta talam तन्दान्तरितरूपिकाम्
Dantantarita.
दन्तान्तरितरूपिकाम्
Little slower, Bhagini. Little slower.
ओके मुक्ताभिश्च प्रबालैश्च रूप्य चामिकरैरपि विभूषितां मणिस्तम्भैः सुबहुस्तम्भभूषिताम् सुमैर्रुजुभिरद्युच्छैः
Samay.
समैरुजुभिरद्युच्छैः समन्तात् सुविभूषितैः स्तम्भैः पक्षैरिवात्युच्छैः दिवं सम्प्रस्थितामिव महत्या कुथया स्तीर्णां पृथिवी लक्षणाङ्गया महत्या कृतया स्तीर्णां
One more time. Little slower, Bhagini. Lots of mistakes. Little slower.
महत्या कुथया स्तीर्णां पृथिवी लक्षणाङ्कया पृथिवीमिव विस्तीर्णां सराष्ट्रगृहमालिनीम्
Good.
नादितां मत्तविहगैर्हि दिव्यगन्धातिवासितां परात्यास्तरनोपेतां रक्षोधिप निवेवितां निषेवितां रक्षोधिपनिषेवितां
रक्षोधिपनिषेवितां. Slower.
रक्षोधिपनिषेवितां धूम्रामगरुतु धूपेन विमलां हंस पाण्डुरां चित्रां पुष्पोपहारेण कल्माषीमिव सुप्रभां मनः संख्यातजननीं वर्णस्यापि प्रसादिनीं तां शोकनाशिनीं दिव्यां श्रियः सञ्जननीमिव इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थैस्तु पञ्चभिरुत्तमैः तर्पयामास मातेव तदा रावणपालिता स्वर्गोऽयं देवलोकोऽयम् इन्द्रियस्येयं पुरी भवेत् गन्धर्वीयं पुरी वा स्यात् इत्यमन्यत मारुतिः प्रत्यात इवापश्यत् प्रथीपां तत्र.
One more time.
प्रख्यात इवापश्यत् प्रत्यायत इवापश्यत्.
Very good.
प्रतीपांस्तत्र काञ्चनान् धूतानिव महाधूतैः दवनेन पराजितान् देवनेन पराजिताम्.
Slower, Bhagini. Just read it a little slower. Just slower, padiko.
Okay. धूतानिव महाधूतैः देवनेन पराजितान्.
Usually you never make mistakes. What happened? Let's start over. Pradhyayata. Start over. Slower, chalo go. Pradhyayata iva pashyat. Slower, chalo go.
प्रत्यायत इव पश्यत् प्रतीपां तत्र काञ्चनान्.
Very good.
धूर्तानिव महाधूतैः देवनेन पराजितान्.
Very good.
दीपानां च प्रकाशेन तेजसा रावणस्य च अर्चिर्भिर्भूषणानां च प्रतीप्तेप्य मन्यते. अर्चिर्भिर्भूषणानां च प्रतीप्तेत्य sorry, प्रतीप्ते प्रतीप्तेप्यप्यमन्यत
प्रदीप्तेत्यभ्य मन्यत
प्रतीप्तेप्यप्यनन्
प्रदीप्तेत् you take a pause there प्रदीप्तेत्यभ्य मन्यत
प्रतीप्तेप्यप्यमन्यत
good
तथोपश्यत् कुथासीनं नानावर्णाम्बरस्रजम् सहस्रं वरनारीणां नानावेशविभूषितम् परिवृत्तेर्धरात्रे तु पाननेत्रावशं गतम् क्रीडित्वोपरतं रात्रौ सुष्वापबलवत्तदा
very good
तत्प्रसुप्तं विरुरुचे निःशब्दान्तरभूषणम् निःशब्दहंसभ्रमरम् यथा पद्मवनं महते तासां संवृतदन्तानि मीलिताक्षानि मारुतिः अपश्यत् पद्मगन्धीनि वदनानि सुयोषिताम् प्रबुद्धानीव पद्मानि तासां भूत्वा क्षपाक्षये पुनः संवृतपत्राणि रात्राभिरबभुस्तदा
very good
इमानि मुखपद्मानि
imani
मुखपद्मानि इमानि मुखपद्मानि नियतं मत्त षट्पथाः
padaha slower
sorry इमानि मुखपद्मानि नियतं मत्त षट्पदाः अम्बुजानीव पुल्लानि प्रार्थयन्ति पुनः पुनः
very good just try practicing a little slower then the connection between our eyes brain and the ucharanam it will be in better sync when I also read fast I make so many mistakes so I consciously practice chanting slower so that mahapranaha also we will whenever we do shloka chanting I always insist chant slower then you will not miss the mahapranaha very good attempt Pandit. Dhanyavadah ram 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 Vasanti Bagini.
राम रमणी जी
Namaskaraha. 41. Iti va manyat shriman
इति वा मन्यत श्रीमान्
उपपत्या महाकपिः
उपपत्या महाकपिः
मेनेहि गुणतस्तानि
मेनेहि गुणतस्तानि
समानि सलिलोद्भवैः
समानि सलिलोद्भवैः
very good iti va manyat shriman उपपत्या महाकपिः
इति वा मन्यत श्रीमान् उपपत्या महाकपिः
मेनेहि गुणतस्तानि समानि सलिलोद्भवैः
मेनेहि गुणतस्तानि समानि सलिलोद्भवैः
very good सा तस्य शुशुभेशाला
सा तस्य शुशुभेशाला
ताभिस्त्रीभिर्विराजिता
ताभिस्त्रीभिर्विराजिता
शारदीव प्रसन्नाद्यौ हि
शारदीव प्रसन्नाद्यौ हि
ताराभिरभिशोभिता
ताराभिरभिशोभिता
very good your mahapranas are so good सा तस्य शुशुभेशाला ताभिस्त्रीभिर्विराजिता
सा तस्य शुशुभे शाला ताभिस्त्रीभिर्विराजिता
शारदीव प्रसन्नाद्यौ हि ताराभिरभिशोभिता
शारदीव प्रसन्नाद्यौ हि ताराभिरभिशोभिता
वेरी गुड स च ताभिः परिवृतः
स च ताभिः परिवृतः
शुशुभे राक्षसाधिपः
शुशुभे राक्षसाधिपः
यथा ह्युडुपतिः श्रीमान्
यथा ह्युडुपतिः श्रीमान्
ताराभिरभिसंवृतः
ताराभिरभिसंवृतः
स च ताभिः परिवृतः शुशुभे राक्षसाधिपः
स च ताभिः परिवृतः शुशुभे राक्षसाधिपः
यथा ह्युडुपतिः श्रीमान् ताराभिरभिसंवृतः
यथा ह्युडुपतिः श्रीमान् ताराभिरभिसंवृतः
वेरी गुड याश्च्यवन्तेऽम्बराताराः
याश्च्यवन्तेऽम्बरात्ताराः
पुण्यशेषसमावृताः
पुण्यशेषसमावृताः
इमास्ताः सङ्गताः कृत्स्ना
इमास्ताः सङ्गताः कृत्स्ना
वेरी गुड इति मेने हरिस्तदा
इति मेने हरिस्तदा
याश्च्यवन्तेऽम्बराताराः पुण्यशेषसमावृताः
याश्च्यवन्तेऽम्बरात्ताराः पुण्यशेषसमावृताः
इमास्ताः सङ्गताः कृत्स्ना इति मेने हरिस्तदा
इमास्ताः सङ्गताः कृत्स्ना इति मेने हरिस्तदा
वेरी गुड ताराणामिव सुव्यक्तम्
ताराणामिव सुव्यक्तम्
महतीनां शुभार्चिषाम्
महतीनां शुभार्चिषाम्
प्रभावर्ण प्रभावर्णप्रसादाश्च
प्रभावर्णप्रसादाश्च
विरेजुस्तत्र योषिताम्
विरेजुस्तत्र योषिताम्
ताराणामिव सुव्यक्तम् महतीनां शुभार्चिषाम्
ताराणामिव सुव्यक्तम् महतीनां शुभार्चिषाम्
वेरी गुड प्रभावर्णप्रसादाश्च विरेजुस्तत्र योषिताम्
प्रभावर्णप्रसादाश्च विरेजुस्तत्र योषिताम्
करेक्ट व्यावृत्तगुरुपीनस्रक्
व्यावृत्तगुरुपीनस्रक्
प्रकीर्णवरभूषणाः
प्रकीर्णवरभूषणाः
पानव्यायामकालेषु
पानव्यायामकालेषु
निद्रापहृतचेतसः
निद्रापहृतचेतसः
व्यावृत्तगुरुपीनस्रक् प्रकीर्णवरभूषणाः
व्यावृत्तगुरुपीनस्रक् प्रकीर्णवरभूषणाः
पानव्यायामकालेषु निद्रापहृतचेतसः
पानव्यायामकालेषु निद्रापहृतचेतसः
Correct. व्यावृत्ततिलकाः काश्चित्
व्यावृत्ततिलकाः काश्चित्
काश्चिदुद्भ्रान्तनूपुराः
काश्चिदुद्भ्रान्तनूपुराः
So you can also split there. Kaschit udbhranta nupuraha. You can split there to be safe. Kaschid udbhranta nupuraha.
काश्चिद् उद्भ्रान्तनूपुराः
This letter can be a little confusing here. So you can see English here. Kaschid udbhranta nupuraha. So the split is here. It is kaschit plus udbhranta becomes the there. It becomes the there. So you can either say it or you can say the. Both are right. One more time. Vyavrittatilakah kaschit.
व्यावृत्ततिलकाः काश्चित्
Kaschit udbhrantanupuraः.
काश्चिद् उद्भ्रान्तनूपुराः
पार्श्वे गलितहाराश्च
पार्श्वे गलितहाराश्च
काश्चित् परमयोषितः
काश्चित् परमयोषितः
व्यावृत्ततिलकाः काश्चित् काश्चित् उद्भ्रान्तनूपुराः
व्यावृत्ततिलकाः काश्चित् काश्चिद् उद्भ्रान्तनूपुराः
पार्श्वे गलितहाराश्च काश्चित् परमयोषितः
पार्श्वे गलितहाराश्च काश्चित् परमयोषितः
वेरी गुड मुक्ताहारावृताश्चान्याः
मुक्ताहारावृताश्चान्याः
one more time
मुक्ताहारावृताश्चान्याः
very good काश्चित् विस्रस्तवाससः
काश्चित् विस्रस्तवाससः
the tendency to make a mistake here. I think I had done a mistake in my recording. So kaschit visra. This is sra and not stri. Tra. So it is only S-R-A, not S-T-R-A. Stra. Kaschit visrastavasasah.
काश्चित् विस्रस्तवाससः
Very good. Vyavrittarashanadamaha.
व्यावृत्तरशनादामाः
किशोर्य इव वाहिताः
किशोर्य इव वाहिताः
वेरी गुड मुक्ताहारावृताश्चान्याः काश्चित् विस्रस्तवाससः
मुक्ताहारावृताश्चान्याः काश्चिद् विस्रस्तवाससः
व्यावृत्तरशनादामाः किशोर्य
sorry
no problem व्यावृत्तरशनादामाः किशोर्य इव वाहिताः
व्यावृत्तरशनादामाः किशोर्य इव वाहिताः
वेरी गुड सुकुण्डलधराश्चान्या
सुकुण्डलधराश्चान्या
विच्छिन्नमृदितस्रजः
विच्छिन्नमृदितस्रजः
वेरी गुड one more time सुकुण्डलधराश्चान्या
सुकुण्डलधराश्चान्या
विच्छिन्न मृदितस्रजः
विच्छिन्नमृदितस्रजः
correct मृदितस्रजः there is a double is there गजेन्द्र मृदिताः फुल्ला
गजेन्द्रमृदिताः फुल्ला
लता इव महावने
लता इव महावने
सुकुण्डलधराश्चान्या विच्छिन्न मृदितस्रजः
सुकुण्डलधराश्चान्या विच्छिन्नमृदितस्रजः
गजेन्द्र मृदिताः फुल्ला लता इव महावने
गजेन्द्रमृदिताः फुल्ला लता इव महावने
वेरी गुड चन्द्रांशुकिरणाभाश्च
चन्द्रांशुकिरणाभाश्च
हाराः कासाञ्चित् हाराः कासाञ्चिदुत्कटाः
हाराः कासाञ्चिदुत्कटाः
कासाञ्चित् there is a chit prayogah and then utkataha so it becomes kasanchidutkataha.
Okay.
One more time the second part.
हाराः कासाञ्चिदुत्कटाः.
Very good. Hamsa iva babhuः suptaः
हंसा इव बभुः सुप्ताः
स्तनमध्येषु योषिताम्
स्तनमध्येषु योषिताम्
चन्द्रांशुकिरणाभाश्च हाराः कासाञ्चिदुत्कटाः
चन्द्रांशुकिरणाभाश्च हाराः कासाञ्चिदुत्कटाः
हंसा इव बभुः सुप्ताः स्तनमध्येषु योषिताम्
हंसा इव बभुः सुप्ताः स्तनमध्येषु योषिताम्.
करेक्ट. अपरासाञ्च वैडूर्याः
अपरासाञ्च वैडूर्याः
कादम्बा इव पक्षिणः
कादम्बा इव पक्षिणः
हेमसूत्राणि चान्यासाम्
हेमसूत्राणि चान्यासाम्
चक्रवाका इव भवन्
चक्रवाका इव भवन्.
अपरासाञ्च वैडूर्याः कादम्बा इव पक्षिणः
अपरासाञ्च वैडूर्याः कादम्बा इव पक्षिणः
हेमसूत्राणि चान्यासाम् चक्रवाका इव भवन्
हेमसूत्राणि चान्यासाम् चक्रवाका इव भवन्.
वेरी गुड. हंसकारण्डवाकीर्णाः
हंसकारण्डवाकीर्णाः
चक्रवाकोपशोभिताः
चक्रवाकोपशोभिताः
आपगा इव तारेजुः
आपगा इव तारेजुः
जघनैः पुलिनैरिव
जघनैः पुलिनैरिव
हंसकारण्डवाकीर्णाः चक्रवाकोपशोभिताः
हंसकारण्डवाकीर्णाः चक्रवाकोपशोभिताः
आपगा इव तारेजुः जघनैः पुलिनैरिव
आपगा इव तारेजुः जघनैः पुलिनैरिव.
Very good. किङ्किणीजालसङ्काशाः
किङ्किणीजालसङ्कोषाः. Sorry, सङ्कोषः.
सङ्का
सङ्काशाः. Yeah, sorry.
सङ्का similar.
Okay.
किङ्किणीजालसङ्काशाः
किङ्किणीजालसङ्काशाः
तावक्त्र कनकाम्बुजाः
तावक्त्र कनकाम्बुजाः
भावग्राः यशस्तीराः
भावग्राः यशस्तीराः
सुप्ता नद्य इव बभुः
सुप्ता नद्य इव बभुः.
किङ्किणीजालसङ्काशाः तावक्त्र कनकाम्बुजाः
किङ्किणीजालसङ्काशाः तावक्त्र कनकाम्बुजाः
भावग्राः यशस्तीराः सुप्ता नद्य इव बभुः
भावग्राः यशस्तीराः सुप्ता नद्य इव बभुः.
वेरी गुड मृदुष्वङ्गेषु कासांश्चित्
मृदुष्वङ्गेषु कासांचित्
कासां so इंज कासांचित्
कासाञ्चित्
कुचाग्रेषु च संस्थिताः
कुचाग्रेषु च संस्थिताः.
वेरी गुड बभूवुर्भूषणानीव
बभूवुर्भूषणानीव
शुभाभूषणराजयः
शुभाभूषणराजयः
मृदुष्वङ्गेषु कासाञ्चित् कुचाग्रेषु च संस्थिताः
मृदुष्वङ्गेषु कासाञ्चित् कुचाग्रेषु च संस्थिताः
बभूवुर्भूषणानीव शुभाभूषणराजयः
बभूवुर्भूषणानीव शुभाभूषणराजयः.
अंशुकान्ताश्च कासाञ्चित्
अंशुकान्ताश्च कासाञ्चित्
मुखमारुतकम्पिताः
मुखमारुतकम्पिताः
उपर्युपरि वक्त्राणाम्
उपर्युपरि वक्त्राणाम्
व्याधूयन्ते पुनः पुनः
व्याधूयन्ते पुनः पुनः.
अंशुकान्ताश्च कासाञ्चित् मुखमारुतकम्पिताः
अंशुकान्ताश्च कासाञ्चित् मुखमारुतकम्पिताः
उपर्युपरि वक्त्राणाम् व्याधूयन्ते पुनः पुनः
उपर्युपरि वक्त्राणाम् व्याधूयन्ते पुनः पुनः.
Just 1 second. I think the previous one both are not required. 1 second. I need to make a correction there. So it is the dot on the top is not required. Kasanj. So here only the inj is enough there. So kasam plus chit becomes kasanchit. I don't know. I think the text scanning, there must have been an issue. Can you see the slide now? Mridushvangeshu kasanchit. Can somebody verify from your text? Earlier we had a dot here and an inch, which is not required. Kasam plus chit becomes kasanchit. I think there was a dot there as well. Inch is enough there. 54. Jyotsna, if you are there, 54 needs correction in the video. If you have not done, I will send the updated slide to you. You can see it here. This is 55. Amshukantascha kasanchit. We'll start this over. Amshukantascha kasanchit.
Amshukantascha kasanchit.
So it is inj, like in Tamil also we have that, no? So if it is cha, it will be inj before that. Manjal, right? Similarly, it is pand. If it is ta, it will be ind before that.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So kandam, if it is ta, the moonu shurina is there in Tamil. So it is kandru, if it is ra, it will be the rendu suri in. So it is very similar. So whenever the you have done Sanskritam, right, Bhagni? You did Sanskrit exam, isn't it?
Only Pravesh, first
only
part
Pravesh.
I come.
That's why your pronunciation is good.
Yeah. What you have taught, only that, G, nothing.
I remember, I think you all studied together. So the Vargas, Panchama Aksharam, right? So Kasam plus Chitta. So Chacha Jaja Nya. So you say Nya. So like Manjal Nyairu, that Nya. So
Panchangam also.
Panchangam, correct.
Panchangam.
So Panchangam, Pancha Angam, Panchangam. So here
Kasanchit.
Kasanchit. Inj comes there.
Yeah, Kasanchit.
Amshukantascha kasanchit.
Amshukantascha kasanchit.
Mukhamarutakampitaha.
Mukhamarutakampitaha.
We need to know the full line. Uparyupari vaktrāṇām vyādhūyante punah punah.
Uparyupari vaktrāṇām vyādhūyante punah punah.
Very good. One second. ताः पताका इवोद्धूताः.
ताः पताका इवोद्धूताः.
पत्नीनां रुचिरप्रभाः.
पत्नीनां रुचिरप्रभाः.
Very good. नानावर्ण सुवर्णानां.
नानावर्ण सुवर्णानां.
वक्त्रमूलेषु रेजिरे.
वक्त्रमूलेषु रेजिरे.
ताः पताका इवोद्धूताः. पत्नीनां रुचिरप्रभाः.
ताः पताका इवोद्धूताः. पत्नीनां रुचिरप्रभाः.
नानावर्ण सुवर्णानां वक्त्रमूलेषु रेजिरे.
नानावर्ण सुवर्णानां वक्त्रमूलेषु रेजिरे.
Very good. ववल्गुश्चात्र कासाञ्चित्.
ववल्गुश्चात्र कासाञ्चित्.
Correct. कुण्डलानि शुभार्चिषाम्.
कुण्डलानि शुभार्चिषाम्.
मुखमारुतसंसर्गात्.
मुखमारुतसंसर्गात्. There samsargat, no?
Correct. Samsargat. Correct. मन्दं मन्दं सुयोषिताम्
मन्दं मन्दं सुयोषिताम्
ववल्गुश्चात्र कासाञ्चित् कुण्डलानि शुभार्चिषाम्
ववल्गुश्चात्र कासाञ्चित् कुण्डलानि शुभार्चिषाम्
मुखमारुतसंसर्गात् मन्दं मन्दं सुयोषिताम्
मुखमारुतसंसर्गात् मन्दं मन्दं सुयोषिताम्
शर्करासवगन्धैश्च
शर्करासवगन्धैश्च
प्रकृत्या सुरभिः सुखः
प्रकृत्या सुरभिः सुखः
तासां वदननिःश्वासः
तासां वदननिःश्वासः
मेक इट शॉर्ट there तासां वदननिःश्वासः
तासां वदननिःश्वासः
सिषेवे रावणं तदा
सिषेवे रावणं तदा
शर्करासवगन्धैश्च प्रकृत्या सुरभिः सुखः
शर्करासवगन्धैश्च प्रकृत्या सुरभिः सुखः
तासां वदननिःश्वासः सिषेवे रावणं तदा
तासां वदननिःश्वासः सिषेवे रावणं तदा
वेरी गुड रावणानानशङ्काश्च
रावणाननशङ्काश्च
काश्चित् रावणयोषितः
काश्चिद्रावणयोषितः
मुखानि च सपत्नीनाम्
मुखानि स्म पत्नीनां
मुखा
sorry मुखानि च
च
wrong मुखानि च सपत्नीनाम्
उपाजिघ्रन् पुनः पुनः
उपाजिघ्रन् पुनः पुनः
वेरी गुड रावणाननशङ्काश्च काश्चिद् रावणयोषितः
रावणाननशङ्काश्च काश्चिद्रावणयोषितः
मुखानि च सपत्नीनाम् उपाजिघ्रन् पुनः पुनः
मुखानि च सपत्नीनाम्
take a break there mukhani cha sapatninam then we want mix the ch and so
okay मुखानि च सपत्नीनाम्
very good
उपाजिघ्रन् पुनः पुनः
correct very good atyartham saktamanaso
अत्यर्थं सक्तमनसो
रावणेतावरस्त्रियः
रावणेतावरस्त्रियः
अस्वतन्त्राः सपत्नीनाम्
अस्वतन्त्रा सपत्नीनाम्
प्रियमेवाचरंस्तदा
प्रियमेवाचरंस्तदा
अत्यर्थं सक्तमनसो रावणेतावरस्त्रियः
अत्यर्थं सक्तमनसो रावणेतावरस्त्रियः
अस्वतन्त्राः सपत्नीनां प्रियमेवाचरंस्तदा
अस्वतन्त्रा सपत्नीनां प्रियमेवाचरंस्तदा
very good would you like to try
yeah 41 no इति वा मन्यत श्रीमान् उपपत्या महाकपिः मेने हि गुणतस्तानि समानि सलिलोद्भवैः सा तस्य शुशुभे शाला ताभिः स्त्रीभिर्विराजिता शारदीव प्रसन्नाद्यौः ताराभिरभिशोभिता स च ताभिः परिवृतः शुशुभे राक्षसाधिपः यथा ह्युडुपतिः श्रीमान् ताराभिरभिसंवृतः याश्च याश्च वन्तेम्बरात्ताराः याश्च वन्तेम्बरात्ताराः पुण्यशेषसमावृताः इमास्ताः सङ्गताः कृत्स्ना इति मेने हरिस्तदा ताराणामिव सुव्यक्तं महतीनां शुभार्चित्सां प्रभावर्णप्रसादाश्च विरेजुस्तत्र योषिताम् व्यावृत्तगुरुपीनस्रक् प्रकीर्णवरभूषणाः पानव्यायामकालेषु निद्रापहृतचेतसः व्यावृत्ततिलकाः काश्चिदुद्भ्रान्तनूपुराः पार्श्वे गलितहाराश्च काश्चित् परमयोषितः मुक्ताहारावृताश्चान्याः काश्चिद् विस्रस्तवाससः व्यावृत्तरशनादामाः किशोर्य इव वाहिताः सुकुण्डलधराश्चान्यां विच्छिन्नमृदितस्रजः गजेन्द्रमृदिताः फुल्ला लता इव महावने चन्द्रांशुकिरणाभाश्च हाराः कासाञ्चिदुत्कटाः हंसा इव बभुः सुप्ताः स्तनमध्येषु योषिताम् अपरासाञ्च वैडूर्याः कादम्बा इव पक्षिणः हेमसूत्राणि चान्यासां चक्रवाका इवाभवन् हंसकाराण्डवाकीर्णाः चक्रवाकोपशोभिताः आपगा इव तारेजुः जघनैः पुलिनैरिव किङ्किणीजालसङ्काशाः तावक्त्रकनकाम्बुजाः भावग्राहा यशस्तीराः सुप्ता नद्य इवा बभुः मृदुष्वङ्गेषु कासाञ्चित् उचाग्रेषु च संस्थिताः बभूवुर्भूषणानीव शुभाभूषणराजयः अंशुकान्ताश्च कासाञ्चित् मुखमारुतकम्पिताः उपर्युपरि वक्त्राणां व्याधूयन्ते पुनः पुनः ताः पताका इवोद्धूताः पत्नीनां रुचिरप्रभाः नानावर्णसुवर्णानां वक्त्रमूलेषु रेजिरे वल्गुश्चात्र कासाञ्चित् कुण्डलानि शुभार्चिषाम् मुखमारुतसंसर्गात् संसर्गात् मन्दं मन्दं सुयोषिताम्.
You have id there.
No, in my book, it's Anantarama Dikshitar book, Samsargan is there.
Samsargan.
Half in is there. Samsargat. No, it should be.
Hold on. Please 7. I'll have to check this. Samsargat only. So the split is Samsargat, and then the Anunasika Sandhi happens. So it becomes Samsargan Mandam. Yeah, Samsargat, when you split there, it is okay.
Okay, okay. Mukhamaruta samsargat mandam mandam suyoshitam sharkarasavagandhaishcha prakrutya surabhis sukhah तासां वदन निश्वासः सुषेवे रावणं तदा.
Last part.
तासां वदन निश्वासः सुषेवे रावणं तदा. रावणानन शङ्काश्च काश्चिद्रावणयोषितः मुखानि च सपत्नीनाम्. I'll read it again. मुखानि च सपत्नीनाम् उपाजिघ्रन् पुनः पुनः अत्यर्थं सक्तमनसो रावणेता वरस्त्रियः अस्वतन्त्रासपत्नीनां प्रियमेवाचरंस्तदा.
Very good. You made it sound so easy. I don't know, when you were chanting, it felt like this is such a cakewalk.
Oh, no, not all because of you. No, whatever you taught, that's all, Ji.
The flow was very beautiful. It seemed like, why do we need a class for this? It is so
my
easy.
God.
It is so easy to chant. Well, who is the deity in your Zoom DP, Bagni?
This is actually Krishna, Santana Gopalan in Thinniyam, no? That is our Kuladevam near Lalgudi, Anbil. That's it, Tiruchi.
Okay.
So that day he just happened to send it. So I just upload. I couldn't get that Bhagavad Gita. Sorry, that one background in Zoom, and now I just left it. That's all.
Very
so Santana Gopalan.
Very nice.
Utsavarmut.
Very nice. Very nicely repeated. The flow was excellent. Keep it up, Vasanthi. Your pace was also very nice.
Thank you, Privacharanam. Thank you, Ji. Thank you. Ram.
Usha Ji hasn't volunteered to repeat yet. Let's see when she will volunteer. Okay. Who can do the summary? Let's do a quick summary before we go further. I know we've had a break for like 2 weeks. So even I need to remember. I think there are some doubts in 43, 48. 1 second. Any numbers here? 43, 48. Please bear with the quick flipping. 43. Search tabhif parivratah shushubhe rakshasa dhipah yatah hyudupa. There is a dvitva there. Yatah hyudupati shriman tarabhirabhi samvritah. Yatah. There is a ich sound you have to say there. Yatah hyudupa tishriman tarabhirabhi samvritah. 43, 47, 48. Saraswati ji and Pragnya ji, I hope 43 is clear now. I am assuming the second line, the confusion was the Yatah Hyudupati Shriman. 47. Vyavritta tilakah kaschit. Again, split there. Kaschit udbhranta nupuraha. So 47, you split there. Kaschit or kaschit, both are right. Udbhranta. So it is udh, you say idh first and then bhranta at the bottom. Bhranta nupuraha. Parshve galitaharascha kaschit paramayoshitah. That is straightforward. Then 47, 48. Muktahara vritaschanyaha kaschit visrasta vasasah. Vyavrit. The second line is okay. I think kaschit visrasta. Visrasta. You can see here. Kaschit visrasta. Rasta. Vasasah. I had trouble recording this. Kaschit visrasta vasasah. Vyavrittara shanadamaha kishoryaiva vahitaha. Second line is okay there. Okay. Then 43, 47, 48. What is 60? What is in 60? Varastriyah, not dirgha. Varastriyah, okay. Maybe your text has a different last one, right? Varastriyah, the noble women. I'm just checking YouTube. I think 43, 48, 47, and then 60. Any other numbers that require clarification? I think there's a fairly easier set, I should say. And Vasanti ji chanted so beautifully. 54. What is 54? Mrudushvangeshu kasanchit kuchagreshu cha samsthitaha babhuvurбhushananiva shubha bhushana rajayah. I think second line is okay. Kasanchit, the ins. Kuchagreshu. Again, there is a dvitvan there. Kasam. So kasanchit. So kasam plus chit becomes kasanchit. If you say im, it is not wrong, but in general, the parsavarana is done there. If you say kasam chit, that is also correct, only the pronunciation is okay. But because cha is there and im is there, you see the fifth. You say the fifth akshara, kasanchit. 55 and 54. Yes. Kasanchit. Same thing. I think there was an extra dot earlier, which we fixed, Bagni. I don't think anybody signed up for the meaning. Who can volunteer? I'm just going to wait until somebody volunteers. No one? Hmm.
Ramji.
Doctor Madam to the rescue.
இல்ல மேடம்லாம் இல்ல, யாருமே வர மாட்டேங்கிறாளே, என்னடா இதுன்னு பாக்குறேன். யாராவது வந்தா நல்லா இருக்குமே நினைச்சேன்.
Not only saves lives but also saves our classes.
எனக்கும் I mean let me try. Okay. So Hanuman வந்து he climbed onto the Pushpaka Vimanam was the 20th one. The mighty Hanuman climbed on that huge structure decorated with various kinds of divine things. So that previous 20 was full of description about the Pushpaka Vimana, how much it was studded and all that. So he climbed onto that, and from there it looks like he is viewing the Andapuram of the Ravana. So what are all the smells and sights and the sensory pleasures he gets out of that? அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து it is being described in a very, very poetic sense by Valmiki. So in 21, some kind of nice fragrance is coming. Different kinds of eatables and drinks inviting him, just like how the wind would experience the fragrance. Hanuman, who is the son of wind god, is also experiencing the same fragrance now. It is like the rice, cooked rice smell, and different kinds of food, that smell he is experiencing. In the 21st it is described. 22nd, that fragrance was inviting Hanuman, like how a friend would invite, come here, like that, to smell this kind of like that, to Ravana's palace. It looks like an extended invitation for him to go into Ravana's palace now. He thinks like that. Then 23, he sees a huge hall which belongs to Ravana. It is like there is a comparison here, which is like a delightful woman, which is dear to Ravana, and that hall is decorated in every aspect. So he compares that to a delightful woman who is dear to Ravana, who is very well decorated. So it is only from materialistic point of view, this is described. So different senses of being attracted here. So for the eyes, the hall, huge hall, which is studded with gems, and for the smell part, he is experiencing the different flavors of the food, different fragrances of the food. 24th, that sopanam, that is the staircase, which is covered with gems and gold, which is shining, and it is covered with crystals and with inlaid ivory. So that staircases are covered with gems and ivory. 25th is like that, different sopanams are decorated with so many things like pearls, corals, silver, and gold. And it had richly studded manistambams. So the pillars were studded with so many gems. 26th is about the sky comparison. That is Divam. Straight and even like sky. Tall and decorated, looks like pillars in the wind touching the heaven. He can do the right things even when going gets tough. So, but the people in the city should hang their head in shame, even though the stambas are upright, is the hidden meaning. So the stambas are very much upright, but because of the fraudulent act committed by Ravana, the people in the city should hang their head in shame, like that the poet is describing here. 27th is the floor was also carpeted in a grand manner. It looked like as though the entire earth was present on the floor. So this is the Ravana's carpet. So he thinks that the whole earth is under his feet. Like that, the poet is having a comparison here. So it looks like rows of mansion in the whole of earth is there, and it is all under Ravana's feet, which is the carpet description. Then 28th is that reverberation, that is the noise and the intense fragrance, both were there. It is inhabited by Ravana, king of Rakshasas, where now the 5 senses are satiated. So Bhokta was there for him to just enjoy. So like that, sometimes you also said that the healthy things, sometimes we don't enjoy, and not so good things are only giving us sensual pleasures a lot. Then 29th is, in spite of all this, Hanuman did not indulge in any bhokta. So the air was filled with agaru fragrance, that is agaru wood fragrance, and the smoke coming out of that was white like Hamsa, that is Annapakshi. It had flower offerings, and one side was slightly darkened and radiant to look at. So there is the darkening only. You said one more meaning is there. Ravana's virtues are overshadowed by that one sin he has committed. So, and the nice fragrance, but it was a dark shade was there. That was comparable to the Ravana's sin. Then 30th was that which produces happiness, enhancing the beauty. That is the remover of dukkham. As though Ravana built a heaven on earth, but ultimate pleasure to give the mind a prosperous place, that was his aim. So he has given that kind of place to his woman. Just like a mother taking care of the child, that is needs of the senses, of all the senses are satiated for the child. Touch, song, food, sight and smell. Ravana was like a mother to Lanka citizens, it is compared. So he was Pravana Palitamnu சொல்றதுனால. Then he thinking, Hanuman is now thinking, is this a heaven or is it similar to Devaloka, Indraloka? So much of celestial collections are there. Is it something like, is it a heaven like that? He's wondering. Then, just like ordinary gamblers defeated by experienced gamblers, how they will get startled. So he saw that golden colored lamps, but they are all very, very still in nature, not moving only. So he compares like that. Then 30.
This is such a beautiful comparison.
Yeah, that also I liked it. Because how the gamblers will get fooled by the experienced ones. They will be thinking they are playing well, but suddenly one move and they are down. In the chess and all, it happens, no? So like that, how they will be dumbfounded. The golden colored lamps are just like that, standing in nature, very still. So just like the glow of the lamp, the entire building is also lit up there. And he also says that maybe Ravana's actual nature is radiant and it is shining like the glow of the lamp. Then each lady, 35, is adorned with garments which are full of colors, and they are all seated in cushions, ambarams. Then huge crew of noble women also, they seated there. They are all noble women who are seated there. They were unique in dressing. So each one is dressed differently in Ramari. So no uniformity in their dressing. So he has dressed up his women in a very, very different way. Each one may be resembling one state area or something like that. And 36 is as the midnight was passing by, they were taken over by and getting intoxicated by drinks and sleep. And soundly sleeping women were seen because it was past midnight when he crossed. So they were all intoxicated already and they were sleeping. 37, the entire hall looked so serene and silent because they were all sleeping. In Padmavanam, water was still, there is buds, but it is yet to see the sun and bloom, no? So like that, it was still buds, yet to bloom. And so there were no bees and no swan, nothing. They were just serene and quiet. The water was so still. So he was looking at lotus-scented faces. The eyes closed, he couldn't see the tooth. That was the 38th one. That is the eyes are closed. How the lotus buds will be clearly perfect in nature. Like that, he saw the scented face, but eyes closed. Then 39, as the night ended, the faces of the women, protected by king, blooming during the day, looking like lotuses closing at night, he is looking at their calmness only. So that means he is just not moved by their beauty or any other materialistic things. He is just looking at how still they are, how happy and quiet and calm they were sleeping. Like that, he is looking at them. At 40th, the lotus faces blooming in nature looked like they were sought by 6-legged beasts who are intoxicated. They were sought by Ravana's desires. So you compared the intoxicated bees to Ravana's, desires, and the inner. So they were also the faces are sought by the 6-legged intoxicated bees. But it is all adharma only. it is manifested there. Like that, he has ended.
Ended. Very
Right.
nice. Very nice. How do you learn the meaning, Ushaji?
I just take them the notes
Mm.
and I go through twice with your script again. In the YouTube, I play it and I go whether I have left out anything. I just repeat it twice. That's all.
That's all. You write it down?
Yeah, I make in the iPad, I note it.
You note it down. Wow. Okay.
But sometimes எனக்கு மாத்திரம் தான் புரியும். ஏன்னா நான் வந்து அப்படியே ஷார்ட் அண்ட் வெர்ஷன்ல மெடிக்கல் அப்ரிவேஷன்லாம் போட்டு நிறைய எழுதி வச்சிருப்பேன்.
Okay. Very, very nicely narrated. I thought you can give some tips for others too.
Because you are describing it so well, giving us the poetic description. So it is highly appropriate that we should understand what goes behind Valmiki's so vivid description of the Andapuram.
Very nice.
Thank you, Ji.
Very few people are volunteering for
yeah, அதுதான் எனக்கும் I also encourage my sisters actually. Shanti, எல்லாரையும் நான் வசந்தி ரெண்டு பேரையுமே சொல்றேன் நான். You should also
right. The thing is, the main speciality of our Shloka learning satsang is the meaning part, right?
Yeah.
In general, there are a lot of places you just learn the Shloka, you chant and you move on. But here, one thing which we have insisted from the beginning is
we also Sanskrit வந்து அந்த மீனிங்ஸ் மனசுல அரைச்ச ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கு. லைக் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணி படிக்கிறச்ச it is அந்த பத்மவனம் அந்த இதெல்லாம் அப்படியே ரொம்ப டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷன்.
I don't know how to motivate people to come and share the meaning. Like what can be the bait? I don't know. I don't know. It's very nice when somebody understands the Shloka, somebody who has actually taken the effort to listen to it, listen again and then take down notes. I'm sure a lot of them are learning the meaning, but I don't know why they are not volunteering.
They are shy, I think. My sisters, at least I can tell, they all know that very well, but they are shy.
I think next time I'm just going to start assigning. This week, this person will do. I'm just worried that people will stop attending classes if I ask them to present. Others, what about others? Thank you, Ji.
Thank you, Ram.
Others, what about others? Give me some suggestions on how I can get people to volunteer to. I think a lot more people are volunteering to chant and even repeat, right? We have new members who are volunteering. How can I get people to come and describe the beauty of this great work? What suggestions do we have? I know there are members who are attending very regularly, but it will be nice to hear new voices, members giving the same meaning with different modulation. It will be nice to hear. Others? No suggestions? I think I'm going to start calling out people. I know Aparna ji, Asha ji, Padmakshi auntie, you've also been very regular to the class. I think one class you should volunteer to come and at least share the meaning. You're a teacher, you've been a principal of a school, so this Sabai Vekkam, I don't think that applies to you. What about others? Krishnan ji, why don't you volunteer one day? Dhanlakshmi ji, Padmavati Rangarajan, you can also volunteer one of the days. I'm just calling out names that I'm familiar with. Rajani Bagni from Mumbai, you can volunteer. I know you sincerely take. Saroja auntie and Ranjani auntie, why don't you come? I think Shanti ji and Vasanti ji, next couple of classes you will be the volunteer to summarize the meaning. I know with respect to pronunciation, you both are set. So come forward to describe the meaning. Sunita Balaji, I think you should also try, and I know you did the revision once. You can try the others. I think I'm just calling out names, at least whom I know have been attending for quite some time. I think we can all go that extra mile, right? Where we just take some time to note down if not for all classes, just maybe for, once in like 8 classes or so, people can volunteer. You can take, you can rotate and you can do. So once in maybe 8 classes, you can try. It'll be nice to hear new voices. It'll be nice to hear different kind of modulation. Sometimes people give their interpretation as well. It'll be nice to, I think the Dhvani Parichaya, right, where we all become familiar with like each other's voices. I think that will also be good. We have a long way to go with respect to Sundara Kandam learning. So it'll be nice to hear new voices. I think I've been repeatedly asking. Dhanyavadaha, Padmavati ji. Thank you, Ranjini aunty. I think it'll be good if people can volunteer. Okay, so the next set, I'll just keep it short today. So Hanuman is there in the Anthapuram, and he is actually looking at women sleeping, and there is just description of women, how they are clad and how they are decorated, and how it appears to Hanuman. So we don't have to go in depth with respect to these, at least the next few shlokas. We will do the padacheda, we will do the word by word meaning, but there is not much takeaway from this. The overall takeaway is that Hanuman was given a chance to give in to pleasures, but he didn't deter from his goal. He's never deterred. I don't think he'll ever deter again. But this is again, even if it is food, even if it is sensual pleasures, even if it is enjoyment of riches and prosperity, there he never gave in. So that is the description here. Iti va amanyata shriman upapatya mahakapihi menehi gunataha tani samani salila udbhavaihi. So samani, there were a lot of women there. So that Shriman Mahakapihi, that noble Hanuman, he was thinking to himself. What was he thinking? Itiva amanyata. Amanyata means he was thinking. What he was reasoning out in his mind, upapatya, he was reasoning out. What was he thinking? All these women that he was seeing, they all had qualities, gunaha, gunataha, which is the qualities that they had, in qualities. Samani, they were equal. They all seemed like salila udbhavaihi. Salila is water. So from water, whatever is born, they all looked similar to that. So from water, what is born? Lotus. Very good. So that glorious Hanuman, noble Hanuman, was thinking in his mind, and he was reasoning out that all these women had beautiful faces, and the quality of these women, the beauty, the fragrance, and everything looked very similar to the lotuses that bloom in water. So he sees beauty there and he sees similarity there. Even though it is night and these women are sleeping, they all looked pretty in their own way. Sa tasya shushubhe shalaha tabhi, shala, one hall, tabhi stribhi virajita sharadiva prasanna dyauhi tarabhi abhishobhita. So that shala, that hall of Ravana was shining, shushubhe, it was shining, it resplendent in nature. And what was it adorned with? Virajita means it was adorned with stribihi, with all these women. And how did they look like? The entire place was looking like Sharad Iva, the autumn season. Prasanna, the autumnal sky is usually very clear in nature. Dyauhi, the sky. Akashaha.
Tarabihi Ashobhitaha. So it was decorated with stars. So the autumn sky, just like stars shine and make the sky even more brilliant and shining to look at, these women who decorated the hall where they were there with Ravana, the hall which was already decorated, they enhanced the beauty. So they made it even more glittering. So that Shala, the hall of Ravana, Sa Tasya Shushubhe Shala, was shining. Because of what? What? Stribihi. Dabihi Stribihi. Those women. Virajita. It was adorned. It was decorated. How? Just like the calm, cloudless sky during the Sharat Kalam, during the autumn season, is illuminated. Tarabihi Abhishobita. It is illuminated by a group of shining stars. Again, description of the women. Saha cha tabhihi parivritah shushubhe rakshasa adhipaha yata hi udupatihi shriman tarabhihi abhisamvritah. Udupatihi. Does anybody know the meaning for udupatihi? Udupatihi is moon, correct. So, the Lord of the stars. So, here, the Lord of the Rakshasas, who was the Rakshasa Adhipaha, the Lord of the Rakshasas, was surrounded by women. Parivrataha, all the directions, he was surrounded by these shining women, right? Adorned women. And how did it look? It looked like the radiant moon. Yatha, he, Udupatihi, the moon, which is surrounded by what? Tarabihi, which is surrounded by stars. Abhi samvritaha means it is encircled. So on a night when the sky is clear during the autumn season, we can see the full moon, which is so beautifully shining. And surrounding the moon, we can see a group of stars which illuminate themselves and in turn illuminate the entire sky. So similarly, Rakshasa Adhipaha, that lord of Rakshasa, Ravana, was surrounded by these decorated lotus-like women who were shining just like how the radiant moon is surrounded by stars. Just different comparisons and examples which are given here. Yaha cha Chevante, that is the split there. Ambarat, Taraha, Punya Shesha Samavrataha, Imaha, Taha, Sangataha, Kritsna, Iti Mene, Harihi Tada. Harihi again here refers to Hanuman. It is another word used for Vanara. Hanuman was thinking how these women along with Ravana looked like. So whatever these stars and meteors are there, when they fall down from the sky, how they would shine and illuminate. Similarly, all those meteors had been put together as these women. So it looked as though we have these falling stars, meteors from the sky which fall. So if those stars had fallen, gathered together and fallen on the earth, and they had gathered together, if that took like human form, these women would represent that. So Hanuman view is very poetic here. So Valmiki is trying to say that from the sky, these stars fall. And when these stars fall in one place and all those are gathered together, how illuminated and bright the place would look. Of course, there is a beauty associated with it. And how does that beauty look? Kritsna means it's completely sangataha, which is gathered together. So ambarat taraha, from the sky, taraha, punya shesha samavritaha, covered with the residue of merit, which means it has the brilliance in them. Imaha taha sangataha, if all those stars form a group completely, kritsna, then that is how the place would look like. So he was looking at women and he was comparing Ravana in his mind to that moon, which is surrounded by a group of stars. Now it is not possible to see moon and stars on the earth. So he's thinking that if there were a situation where the stars fall on the earth and these stars form a sangha together in one place completely, then this is how it would look. So the imagination goes wild here. Taranam iva suvyaktam mahatinam shubha archisham prabhavarna prasadaha cha virejuhu tatra yoshitam. So the great stars, and whenever we think of stars, what do we think about? We think about the prabha, varna. Prabha is radiance, varna is the color, and prasadaha, the grace and the speed with which they are there. How do they look? Virejuhu means they actually shine. So the lustre, the complexion, the grace of these women that he was looking at. What was the resemblance? The resemblance was Taranam iva suvyaktam. It was clear, Mahatinam, and as great. Shubha archisham. So it was, Shubha is auspicious. Archisham here means radiance. So in terms of the texture, the complexion, how great they looked in terms of radiance, the splendor, varna, which is the color, and the grace, they were all shining. Yoshitam. All these women were exhibiting that kind of auspicious radiance. So the beauty that he was perceiving, it looked as though heaven is there right on earth. And these women who were there, even though Ravana is a Rakshasa, they did not exhibit the Kurupa form. Kurupa means something which is ugly to look at. They all looked extremely beautiful to look at. And the whole place, even though it is shady, right, in terms of Ravana with like so many women, it was still very beautiful to look at because of the nature that these women exhibited. Vyavritta Guru Pina Srak Prakirana Vara Bhushanaha Pana Vyayama Kaleshu Nidra Apahrita Chetasaha. So when these women were sleeping, they were all decorated. Bhushanaha means they were all adorned with different kinds of ornaments. But Vyavritta Guru Pinasrak, the garlands that they were wearing had turned into different sides, in the sense they were in deep sleep. So when we are in deep sleep, we don't have awareness of how our jewelry or even garments are. So they were not aware, they were in deep sleep. And why were they in deep sleep? Pana Vyayama Kaleshu. They were completely indulged in Panam. Here Panam refers to liquor. Vyayama, the play that they had before just going to sleep. Nidra apahrita chetasaha. So the mind was completely taken away by Nidra. Nidra is sleep. So they were in deep sleep. So these women were heavily decorated, but their garlands were scattered around. Penis record, they were scattered around in different sides. And why? Because they had consumed drink, they had involved themselves in different kind of play, dancing, sport, different kinds of activities. So their chetas was taken away by Nidra Devi. It was stolen. Apahrita here, it is kind of like stolen. When we have a very exhausting day, the moment we go to sleep, we go to bed, we will immediately fall asleep. When we have a long day, some people are blessed that whatever the day may be, they will go to sleep immediately. But for some mothers, when you have a tiring day, you get drawn by Nidra Devi right immediately when you hit the bed. And then you have a deep sleep. At that time, you have no awareness whatsoever of how you are, what is happening around you. So these women were involved in that kind of deep sleep, primarily because liquor, because when you have liquor, your consciousness is already taken away when you have liquor. And they were physically tired because they had involved themselves in different kinds of activities, indulgence. So Nidra, the sleep, had taken away their consciousness. So they were in deep sleep. Just Valmiki just wants to convey that they are in deep sleep, and he is giving so many descriptions for this. Vyavritta tilakaha kaschit udbhranta nupuraha parshve galita haraha kaschit parama yoshitaha. So these women who were there, they had these tilaka. What is tilaka? Tilaka is bindi, pottu. So those days they didn't have the sticker pottu, right? So the bindis that they were wearing, the pottu that they were wearing, because they were in deep sleep, it was smudged all over. For some of them, kumkum. Udbhranta nupuraha, the ankles also. A lot of times I have realized that when I wake up in the morning, my leg will have only one anklet. I generally toss and turn a lot during night. When I wake up in the morning, only one anklet will be there. The other anklet will be in the bed. So the anklets were also nupuraha, were also udbhranta, means they were displaced from where they were. Parshve, on the side, on their sides, galita haraha. Their hara is what is haraha? Is garland or mala or necklace, right? So these necklaces also had come off from their neck, and they were lying around. So some of them had their tilakas which were smudged. Some of them had their anklets which were, either twisted or displaced or even off their feet. Some of them had their necklaces which had slipped to their sides. So they were in deep sleep. So they had no awareness that these things were happening. Muktahara avritaha cha anyaha kaschit. Visrasta vasasaha means the clothes were disordered. The clothes had also moved. Vyavrita rashana damaha kishorya iva vahitaha. So some of them who had mukta hara. What is mukta? Only when words that we have encountered, I want to recall. Mukta is pearl. Hara is again necklace. So mukta hara avrita. Those who were covered with pearl necklaces. But their clothes were lying around. For some of them, the clothes also had moved. For some others, their the waist ornaments, vyavrita, rashana, dama. Dama is what? We have seen this damodaraha. Dama. Dama is rope. Udara is hip. So that is why Krishna has the name Damodaraha. So the string around the hip. Here I think it is like Odiyanam kind of ornament. And Kishorya, these young girls, Iva Vahitaha, they were carried away. So here there is another interpretation. Kishorya also means these young female horses who have had a long day, and yet at night they look bright and beautiful to look at. I think that is another interpretation. So some of these women had these pearl necklaces which also had moved. Some of them, kashchit means some of them, had these vastras, the clothes, garments which had moved. Some of them had these hip waist ornaments which had become loose, and they still resembled these young horses who had walked for a very long time. Vahitaha, carried away, walked for a very long time. Now comes the earrings. So kundala dharaha cha anyaha vichinna mridita srajaha gajendra mriditaha phulla lata iva mahavane. So kundala, what is kundala? Kundalam is earrings. Very easy to remember. So we all Karana Kundalam, we say Kundala. Dhara, the one who wears. So some of them were wearing these nice, beautiful earrings. Vichinna Mridita. But the Vichinna means it was broken and crushed. And so as they turned around, these kundalas looked as though they were crushed. So what is the example given here? Mahavane lata iva. What is lata? Those who have learned Sanskritam would know. Lata is creeper. Now Gajendra. What is Gajendra? Gajendra is elephant. Very nice. So many of them are participating. Very nice to see. Mriditaha pullaha. So when an elephant tramples over a beautiful creeper in Mahavanam, how that creeper would look. Similarly, these kundalams had been broken and crushed. Kundalams and the garlands that they were wearing, it looked crushed and broken. So I think the elephant is probably I don't know if it refers to Ravana here, but the way they were sleeping, their ornaments were all distorted and looked as though they are going to be broken. 50th one, Chandra Amshu Kirana Abhaha. That is the split there. Chandra Amshu Kirana Abhaha Cha Haraha Kasam Chit Utkataha Hamsaha Iva Babhuhu Suptaha Stana Madhyeshu Yoshitam. Again, Yoshita again refers to these women. Now, Chandra Amshu Kirana Abha. Okay, what is Kirana? Rays. What is Abha? Abha is shine. Very good. Abha is the radiance of these moonbeam, right? Which shines at night. So he's very careful to use Chandra because this is happening at night. Most of the references to the moon, because that is what we can directly relate to. They had connection there. Am I audible now? sorry, I was asking what is Hamsa. Hamsa is swan. So it looked, so these big pearl necklaces which were shining, and how were they shining? They were shining like the radiance of the moonbeam or the moon rays. And where were they? Sthana madhyeshu. What is sthana? The breast of these women. So the bosom. And it looked as though in the middle of their chest, these harem were looking like sleeping swans. I think the women themselves would have looked like that. So some of these women had pearl necklaces which were shining like the rays of the moon, and they were looking like swans themselves, which were sleeping maybe in the lake or at night. So I don't know what the exact comparison, but I think the other interpretation we can take is that the pearls were so bright and beautiful, it might have looked as though swans were actually sleeping on the chest of these women. That is another interpretation we can take. So these women had big pearl necklaces which were shining with the abha of the kirana, the moon's amshu kirana, chandramshu kirana, the radiance of the moonbeam. So it looked as though white and pure swans were sleeping on the chest of these women. Now, some other women. Aparasam cha vaiduryaha kadambaha iva pakshinah hema sutrani cha anyasam chakravakaha iva abhavan. So there are two birds which are called out here. One is the kadamba and the other is the chakravakaha. There are two sets of birds. So in general, the meaning which is interpreted is that these are generally water birds, swans, ducks, or just a flock of birds which are usually perched in Kadambavana. And in general, they are compared when there is beauty, when there is a pleasant kind of feeling, when there is grace, some kind of calmness as well. So that is the Kadamba part. Now, Chakravaka is the other kind of, I think it is also another kind of duck. And these usually come in pair, two together. I think the male and the female are said to be separated at night, and they kind of cry for each other at night for whatever reasons, and it symbolizes the beauty of love that they have and also the longing that the birds have for each other. So I actually looked up to see why this Chakravaka and Kadamba is being called out here, and that is what the explanation was, that these two birds have like different kinds of interpretation. The Kadamba generally represents beauty, grace, peace, a pleasant kind of feeling, while the Chakravaka, which comes in a pair, it symbolizes the love between the two and the cry and the longing that they have for each other. Yeah, I think they won't separate. Yeah, I read about that. So they always stay with each other. So here in 51, the explanation is that there were other women, the Aparasaha, some others were there, and what kind of jewelry did they carry, right? They had haraha, which were made of vaidurya, and which resembled the kadambaha pakshinaha. And then others had these hema sutrani. What is hema? Gold. Sutrani means these chains, right? Which resembled the Chakravaka, I think the bird is a little bit golden colored, so they looked similar to that. So the Vaidurya resembles the Kadamba and the gold resembles the Chakravaka birds. 52. Hamsa Karandava Akiranaha Chakravaka Upashobhitaha Apaga Iva Taha Rejuhu Jaghanaihi Pulinaihi Iva. Now, the bottom part is described here. So the women had back which resembled, let's look at how he is taking this. Jaganaihi, here the hip and the bottom part. Hamsa Karandava Akiranaha. Hamsa is again the swan bird. Karandava, again a different kind of duck which is described here. Chakravaka Upashobitaha, adorned by a different kind of bird, which is Chakravaka, which we just saw in the previous verse. Apaga, what is Apaga? Anyone? If anybody has done Parichaya, they would know. Apaga is a big river. The size of the river is comparatively bigger. So these women had the lower portion of the body which resembled Pulinaihi Iva. Pulinam means sand. So sand dunes, and yet they were shining like the rivers which are filled with different kinds of birds. And the birds that are described here are swans, I think a type of duck, and Chakravaka. So the poetic description here of the complete scene, right? Comparison to that of moon, comparison of how the sky would look, comparison of how the moon surrounded by stars would look, description of how when the stars fall on earth, what would the scene look like? A calm lake or a river at night, which is filled with birds. The bud of lotuses, how the women actually look. So I think the different comparison always, it strikes a chord when it is compared to something in nature, with nature. So the poetic description here is how the women actually looked. And I think as Hanuman is seeing, he is just looking at the different women with like how and the different parts. It's just a generic description, and we have to not perceive it as Hanuman looking at it with lust. He is not looking at it to seek sensual pleasure, right? He is just describing whatever he is looking. And when he is looking, he is not specifically going to see, oh, how does the upper part look? How does the lower part look? Wherever Hanuman has gone, be it, an army where he saw different kinds of soldiers, Rakshasas, even a sopanam that he saw, a floor that he saw, the Pushpaka Vimanam that he saw, everything that he has seen, he has paid minute attention to detail. It is just for him, this is just a different vastu where he is paying attention to detail, and that attention to detail is described. We have to really be careful about not perceiving it the wrong way. We need to be in that plane, right? And not come down to perceive it in a different way. So I just want to call that out. Now, Kinkini Jala Sankashaha Taha Bhaktra Kanaka Ambujaha Bhava Graha Yashaha Tiraha Suptaha Nadyaha Iva Ambuhu. So the sleeping women, again Nadyaha. Nadyaha means many rivers. Now, many rivers have different kinds of things. Kinkini. What is Kinkini? Kinkini is usually bell. Bell. So usually the Nupuram is adorned with Kinkini, or the Odiyanam is adorned with Kinkini, right? These have these small bells which adorn them. So these sleeping women, these sleeping women were resembling the river. And Vaktra Kanaka Ambuja. What is Vaktram? Vaktram is face. Very good. Kanaka again is gold. And Ambuja is lotus. Ambuni jayate iti ambujaha. That which is born in water. Ambu is water. So they had these golden lotus-like faces, Vaktra Kanaka Ambuja, and resembling strings of tiny little bells. How did they resemble? Kinkini Jala Sankashaha. So resembling string of tiny bells. And it looked like a calm river. Nadyaha, Suptaha Nadyaha. So how were they sleeping? Like calm river, but yet it was shining. Yashaha Tiraha. The banks of the river were lit and they were very beautiful to look at. A river has two banks, right? So the banks were lit and beautiful to look at. Suptaha Nadyaha Iva Ambuhu. Ambuhu. Here, Eva, sorry, Suptaha Nadyaha Eva Abhabuhu means it actually appeared. So these women had shining golden lotus-like faces. They were the faces which were resembling strings of tiny bells. It seemed as though a calm, peaceful, sleeping river with banks which were shining. And Bhavagraha. What is Grahanam? Grahanam is Grahanam, yeah, we say eclipse. That is because a catch happens there. Grahanam means catching. What does it catch? It catches our mind. Bhava graha. It catches our mind. It captivates our mind, our heart. So that is how the scene looked when Hanuman was observing Ravana's Antapura. Mridushu angeshu kasam chit kucha agreshu cha samstitaha babhuvuhu bhushanani iva shubhaha bhushana rajayah. So the decoration again is explained here. The upper part of the women. So mridushu angeshu, the soft body. The kucha agreshu. Kucha again refers to the women's bosom and the tip of the bosom. Samstitaha. It was basically looking extremely decorated. So the soft bodies of these women had these upper portion which had tips which looked extremely decorated, and they themselves looked like a bhushana. They themselves looked like jewels. Bhushana rajayah, rays of ornaments. Amshu kantaha cha kasam chit mukha maruta kampitaha upari vaktranam vyadhuyante punaha punaha. So the clothing that these women were wearing was moving in different ways, and it was on top of each other. So it was fluttering again and again above their faces. Mukha, maruta. Maruta again is wind. Kampitaha means fluttering. So they were all sleeping one on top of the other, very close to each other. So the fine clothing that they were wearing, amshu kantaha, the finest garments that they were wearing, mukha maruta kampitaha, it was fluttering due to the mild wind. It could also be due to the mutual breath of each other, the breathing that was happening. Upari, on top of each other. Upari, one on the other, over and over. Vaktranam, from their faces, on their faces. Vyadhuyante, it was fluttering. Punaha. So Hanuman is still observing minute things here and there. So the clothes that these women were wearing were fluttering again and again. And he was watching that. And I think the gentle breath that they were all breathing, just that was enough for the kind of garment they were wearing. That wind breeze was enough to make the garments move. Taha patakaha iva uddhutaha patninam ruchira prabhaha nana varna suvarnanam vaktra mooleshu rejire. So these clothing that they were wearing, how did they seem? It looked like patakaha. Patakaha is flag. The bright cloth that they were wearing, it was fluttering like a flag. In general, flags flutter due to the wind. And it also had the kind of fluttering and the clothes that they were wearing. It looked as though Nana Varna Suvarnanam. They were different colors of clothing that were there. Suvarnanam, but they were all shining in nature. The kind of clothes and ornaments these women were wearing, it was splendidly radiant. And the garments were flying. Patakaha iva uddhutaha. The fluttering like patakaha. Patakaha means flags. So again, a comparison. When you have flags in the flag post and wind around that place, you can see the flags fluttering on the top, which is a beautiful scene to look at. Vaktra moleshu, again, at the base of each other's faces. But still, Nana Varna Suvarnanam Rejire, because it had different colors which resembled with a golden hue, right? Rejire, it was still shining in nature. Vavalguhu cha atra kasam chit kundalani shubha archisham mukha maruta samsargat mandam suyoshitam. So again, valguhu means something which is soft in nature. Kundalani, kundalam again is earring. Shubha archisham, all these noble women, auspicious women or beautiful women that he was seeing. Mukha maruta samsargat, because of the breath from their nasika, from their mouth. Mandam means soft and gentle. Suyoshitam. These earrings were there, and earrings also seemed to move lightly due to the air that was coming from the breath of these noble women. So the description is that they were all close to each other, because when you are breathing from the air, from your breath, your kundalam cannot move. Only when you're near somebody and somebody's breath actually hits our earring, then the earring can actually move. So they were all sleeping very closely with each other. That is why he even Sangata. So he described that a group together. Earlier, the description was there. So the earrings of these beautiful women were swaying, and it was stirred by the softness of their breath. Sharkara asava gandhaihi cha prakritya surabhihi sukah tasam vadana nishwasaha sisheve ravanam tada. So these the fragrance that was there. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Sharkara asavagandhaihi. Sharkara generally means sugar, but here it is a kind of a liquor. The liquor that has a specific kind of fragrance, prakritya, by nature. Surabhihi, the fragrance. Sukaha, that which gives us a lot of pleasure. It is very nice to smell. Tasam vadana nishwasaha. Tasam here refers to these women. Vadana is again the face. Nishwasaha is the breath from their face. Sisheve. which was very, very which was very pleasing. Ravanam tada. Ravanam here refers to as though it was actually serving Ravana. The natural breath of these women, Valmiki says it was fragrant with the fragrance or the smell of the wine that they consumed. And because Ravana also is into this, like for example, certain types of food appeals to certain people. It would be fragrance for them, and it will be smell that they cannot stand for others. I remember growing up, I used to hate garlic. The smell of garlic, I couldn't stand at all. And I used to have friends who are like, they used to love the fragrance, the smell of garlic as well as the taste. So what is fragrance to some is actually unwanted smell for the other. Now, these women who had consumed liquor, who were into play, who were sleeping, because of the smell of the liquor, the breath also would smell that wine or liquor, whatever they consumed, right? Typically, somebody who's a teetotaler, this would be a sense of aversion. But because Ravana also was into these bhogams, for him, this was pleasing. Sishe, wait, as though it was the smell, the wine smell that came out of their vadanam, the breath of the vadanam, breath of the face, it looked as though it was actually pleasing or serving Ravana. A very, very peculiar way to describe, inam inattodu serum, birds of similar nature flock together, right? So these bunch of women who had consumed liquor, they appeal to Ravana, and Ravana appeals to them because their nature is very similar. So what would be an aversion for somebody, it is actually pleasing for Ravana, because Ravana also is into the sensual pleasure. Ravana Anana Shankaha cha Kashchit Ravana Yoshitah Mukhani cha Sapatninam Upajigran Punah Punah. So they were all together, and the assumption, it's not assumption, it says Sapatninam. They were the wives of Ravana, and they were all together in the same place. So there was some kind of jealousy which was there. So some of the women, what they did, they kept smelling the other women nearby, thinking that it is probably Ravana, and they also wanted to see whether the smell of that woman would appeal more than theirs. So maybe some of them were half asleep, some of them were alert to see who appeals to Ravana more. So Ravana Anana Shanka, the suspicious face of Ravana, Kashchit, some of them, Ravana Yoshitaha, all these Ravana's women, the wives, Mukhani, the faces, Sapatninam, all these, Sapatni means coexisting wives. Upajigran, Jigrati means smelling, Punah Punah, they were all smelling. So some of the wives of Ravana were suspicious of Ravana's attention. So they were smelling the faces of the other women who were sleeping nearby. Very interesting take. Atyartham Sakta Manasaha Ravane Taha Varastriyah Swatantraha Sapatninam Priyam Eva Acharam Stada. So these women were extremely devoted to Ravana. So Atyartham means Ativa, exceedingly, Sakta Manasaha, with their mind attached, Ravane, in Ravana. All these Varastriyah, all these women, they did not want any independence. Swatantra means independence. Aswatantra means not being independent. So they are actually dependent. Sapatninam, all these coexisting wives, all these wives who were there, Priyam Eva, they all had one goal. They wanted Ravana to be pleased. So they were devoted in mind to Ravana, and sometimes they were okay not being independent, and they wanted to mutually work together to please Ravana. They only had the Priyam Eva, the pleasing of Ravana. They only helplessly did whatever was required to please him. Sometimes, even when you don't want to do something, because somebody else is doing, and because somebody else is doing, the person whom you look up to, you will fear that that person will favor. So even if you don't want to do something, you will do it just to get into the good books of that person, right, to whom you look up to. So these women, sometimes even if they don't want to directly please Ravana, they had this tinge of jealousy within them, that if they did not do it, then the other wives who do what Ravana would be pleased with, or what would appeal to Ravana, they will become his favorites. So even sometimes unwillingly, without being independent, it's a kind of force that they experience. These days we call it peer pressure, right? So here, co-wife pressure. So because one would do it, the others also were kind of forced to do it, because they wouldn't want to let one woman there be Ravana's favorite. So, there are a lot of negativities which have been brought out here, right? The kind of enjoyment, the wine wine smelled breathing which is there, the awareness which is not there, the desires that that these women have, the kind of jealousy or envy that they possess. But at the end of the day, they are all helpless, because they are as a Gana. When one does something and they don't want that person to be Ravana's favorite, everybody helplessly does what appeals to Ravana. So that is where this ends. There is not too much with respect to lessons learned here, but then again, the description that Valmiki gives is that Ravana is into that bhogam, and so is everybody who is surrounding him, either willingly or due to compulsion, right? Sometimes you don't want to do something, but because you're associated with a group, or even a leader for that matter, you might not want to resort to violence. You might believe in ahimsa, but because you are following a leader who resorts to violence, and even though you are a person who believes in non-violence, sometimes you are forced to act violently. So the leader kind of sets the tone, and that is what I believe Valmiki is trying to set here. The kind of bhogam that Ravana is into, so much with respect to construction, with respect to, in Tamil we'll say that is how the description was when we read about the palace, when we read about the mansions, when we read about the Pushpaka Vimanam, the Sopanam, the floor. So he went like, all in while building the city, and he did not stop there. He did not indulge himself in sattvic related things. He was still very much into pleasures and keeping himself. A lot of time people don't want to drink because it takes your thinking capability away. It takes your conscious thinking away. A lot of them drink because they want that to be taken. They want to forget their worries. They claim they want to forget their worries because it's taken away. It is a period when they don't experience pain. There is a saying that says, when somebody drinks, ask them why they are drinking. There is always a why behind the drinking. But Ravana seems to be this person who has everything, but still gives into pleasures that, enslaves him. So that is where we are at. I will try to upload the the videos by this weekend. Please do practice. Next week we will not have class on Friday because I have an event to attend in the evening. I will send out a message. We will either meet on Thursday or we will meet on Saturday. Most likely we will meet on Thursday, and I will post a message in the group. Yeah. They would have been proud. That's a funny take. Ramya Bagni says if Rakshasis would have read these descriptions and comparisons, they would have been very proud of their beauty and looks. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om Tatsat. Dhanyavadah. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Mahaperiva Sharanam. Jai Jai Shankara. Hara Hara Shankara. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you all for joining. Keep practicing, keep chanting, keep learning.